Hi, welcome to qascripts. In this video, we will learn what is collection. Collection is a framework that provides an architecture to store and manipulate the group of objects, especially strings. To store and to manipulate the string, we have array in Java. Then what is the need of collections? Let us see what are the disadvantages we have with array. Then it will be easy to understand what is the advantage of collections in Java. First and foremost disadvantage of array is limited to predefined data. It holds that much values only. For example, if you define length of array as 5, it holds only 5 values, not more than that. Array takes more space if don't have assigned values to it. We can't store different class objects into the same array. The reason is an array stores only one data type of elements. So this is a very important disadvantages. And there is a one more disadvantage is adding object at the end of an array is very easy, but inserting or deleting elements in the middle of array is difficult. In this case, we have to rearrange all the elements of the array. Resizing is not possible by an array. Let us see these disadvantages using programs in Eclipse. Here is a class called test2 having main method in it. Let me create one string array having a length of 2. Let me say it as names. So this is a simple array of string data type having length 2. Let me try to add values to it and retrieve them, and let me try to add more than 2 values as well as apart from string in that particular variable, and what is the error we are going to get it. Here I have added 2 values, that is names of 0 equals to QA and names of 1 equals to script, and I am using advanced for loop to retrieve the values. When I execute this piece of code, it works fine because the array what I have defined is string data type and I have only assigned string values, and the length of array is 2. I have assigned only 2 values, hence it is working. Suppose if I increase the length of array, for example here I'll say name of 2 and here I'll say some other value, something like online training. Now let me try to execute. Here I'm going to get error saying that array index out of bound exception. In the sense, this array has capacity to hold only 2 values, but I am trying to assign more than 2 values, hence it is giving exception. Okay, let me remove 1, and here instead of adding only string data type, I'll try to add some integer data type. Again here I'm getting error. What is that error? Type mismatch, cannot convert from int to string. So what it is saying is the array what you have defined is of string data type. You should assign only string values. Other than strings it cannot accept, because the definition of array is itself, it's a group of elements of same data type. So this is these are the two main disadvantages. But in real condition, think that you have a table in your application. It has two rows. One is name, another one is age. So name is having string values, whereas age will be having int values like 24, 25. And think that you want to read those data cell by cell and you want to assign to one variable, that is string. But here what kind of variable you would, what kind of array you would like to create, whether it's a string or int, because there are two columns which are having two different types of values. And moreover, the table, the rows are going to increase sometime, decrease sometime based upon the functionality of application. At that time we cannot use a fixed length. Then question comes, what is the alternative way? How to overcome these disadvantages of array? To overcome these disadvantages, here is the concept of collection object. Collections framework contains set of interfaces like collection, set, map, etc. Here don't get confused the difference between collections and collection. Collections is the group of interfaces like collection, set, map. The collection is one among the interfaces. There are so many interfaces in that particular framework. Out of that, one is collection. We will see what is collection, what are the different methods, classes we have inside that collections. As of now, please try to understand the words. When you say collections, it's a group of interfaces such as collection, set, map, so and so. Before directly jumping into what is collection, what is set, what is map, let us try to understand some keywords such as what is class and what is interface, what is implementation, what is extends. Because I explained before this slide, collection is a interface. If you don't know what is interface, then it will be very difficult to understand. So let us try to understand from a class point of view, then we'll understand what is interface. Here is a simple class called sample class. Then what is a class? Class is nothing but a building block of Java program. Here it will be having keyword called class and the class name. It will be having opening the curly bracket and closing the curly bracket. Inside the open and close curly bracket, you can write n number of methods. So method is nothing but it's a group of statements. Each statement will be having its own task or a work. So here I have written two methods. One is public void add num, another one is public void add sub num. So I have not written any statements inside it. If you want, you can write it. Now I have created another class called, let me delete. Here is another class called sample3, sample class 3. What here I have is main class. Inside the main class, I will try to create object. Before creating object, I will use inheritance concept and I will extend my sample class 3 to sample class. How to do it? We have to use a keyword called extends. Extends to sample class. Now this sample class 3 become child class, sample class become parent class. So using this inheritance concept, we have established a relation between sample class 3 and sample class. Now let me create object of sample class 3 inside the main method. Sample class, that is class name. I'll say obj equals to new sample class. Now the object is ready. When I type object dot, I'll be able to see all the methods which are present in the class called sample class. So one is add num and another one is sub num. So these are the two methods we have inside the class called sample class. So same methods are coming out here and displaying. If you want, you can just select and use it. Like this, we can create a class and we can extend to another class if you want to use the members of that particular class. So here we are going to use a keyword called extends. So the class will be having fully defined method. Fully defined method in the sense a method which is going to have header. This is what we call as a header, and body. Body in the sense the curly bracket, open curly bracket and close curly bracket. Inside this open curly brackets you can write a number of statements. This is what we call as a body, and this part we call as header. So this is a complete method. A class will have complete methods and it will allow us to create an object or instantiate of particular class. So we can create instance or class of object by this way. So here is the graphical representation of same classes what I have created in Eclipse. Here is the parent class, that is sample class. Here I have created another class called sample class 2 and extended to sample class, so that I can create object and I can use all the methods, fully defined methods. You can create a number of methods and you can extend. So this is going to call as a parent class and the other classes are going to call as child class. So one parent class or one father class can have n number of child classes, but one child class can have only one father class. It cannot be having more than one father class. That's why we are going to say Java is not going to support multiple inheritance. So like this we can extend from one class to another class and we can use fully defined method of parent class. Now let us see what is interface. Interface is the one, it will be having only empty methods or the method with a head only, not body. Here let me try to create one interface. While creating interface, it's going to show different wizard. At the same time, while creating class, it's going to show different wizard. Let me try to create one interface. To create any interface, you have to right click on src folder, move on to new, then there will be two keywords, one is interface and class. If you want to create class, you can click on class. If you want to create interface, you can click on interface, and your icon also going to be different. For class it will be C, and for interface it will be I. For now I'm trying to create interface. Let me click on interface. When I click on interface, it will show this wizard or window. Here I can enter interface name. As of now I have already created interface as a list. So after entering the name, just click on finish. You will get this kind of lines, that is interface. So interface is nothing but one, it can have n number of empty methods. Here are the four empty methods, that is public void add, public void add all, public void get, public void remove. So these four methods have only head but no body. Let me try to create one simple method having body as well as head for it. Let me say public void, this time I'll say add num. So this is completely header part. Now I'll open the curly bracket and close the curly bracket. Here I'm getting error. What is that error? Let me move my cursor on that particular red mark. Here it says that remove method body. Means since this is an interface, interface can have only empty methods, only methods having header. No body is required and it's not going to allow. If you have body, then it is going to throw errors saying that please remove body. Let me click on please remove body. Now the body has gone, only header is remained. This is the empty method. So the interface is nothing but it's a group of empty defined methods. Here I have created one simple class saying array list. So before I had created interface that is list. You can give any name, but here I have given name as list, and here I have created class. How to create a class? Right click again on src folder, go to new, go to class. This is a wizard. Here you can enter the class name and you can check or uncheck this checkbox, that is public static void main. If you check this checkbox, there will be one statement which is going to have inside this class. If you uncheck it, there won't be any statements or methods like main methods. Let me uncheck it and click on finish. When I click on finish, I will get one class created. Now with the previous example, let me try to extend to list interface. In previous examples, we have extended from one class to another class. Now I am trying to extend from one class to another interface. So when I say extends, and let me say list, there is a interface name. When I use extends list, it is showing some errors. It says that change extends to implements. In the sense, we cannot use extends keyword if you want to work with interface. If you want to work with interface, you have to use implements instead of extends. Now let me click on that first suggestion, that is change extends to implements. When I click on extend to implements, here the keyword extends as replaced by implements. Now still we have errors. Let me move on my error red mark here. When I move on, it's going to say that add unimplemented methods. These are the unimplemented methods, in the sense there is no body at all, hence the implementation is not yet done. If you want to implement this list, first you have to implement unimplemented methods. Let me click on add unimplemented methods. When I click on add unimplemented methods, all the 4 methods have displayed here along with body, head and body. So completely defined here, completely defined methods here it is displaying. Like this you can implement interface into class, but you cannot extend. The summary of this exercise is you can extend from one class to another class, but you cannot extend from one class to interface. If you want to use interface, you have to implement. So one class can implement one interface and one class can extend to another class. This is what the summary all about. Here is the graphical representation of same classes and interface what I have explained. Here is my interface called list, and here I have 4 empty methods. When I create one class and use implements, automatically the methods are going to implement. Here are the methods, that is add method is implemented in this way, add all, get, remove, all of them have implemented. And I'm going to write one more method, that is fully defined method, which is not going to there in the list interface. That can be written because ArrayList is the class. This class can have only fully defined methods. So apart from the unimplemented methods what you have implemented here, you can write n number of fully defined methods of your choice. Till now we have seen how to extend from one class to another class, and how to implement from one class to another interface. But what about interface to interface? Let us see with an example. Here is my old interface called list. I'm going to create one more list interface. Let me say that as list2. Otherwise, it will give error saying that already one interface with the name list is exist. Here I have created one more interface called list2. Now with the previous example, how I was doing is I was implementing the interface. Let me try to implement list. No, it is showing error. What error here is syntax error on token implements extends expected. In the sense, I should not use implements. Instead of that, it's asking me to use extends. Let me say extends now. Now there are no errors. It means that one interface can extend to another interface, but one class can have implements another interface. So don't get confused. This is a interface, so one interface can extend to another interface, whereas one class can have implements another interface, but one class can have extended to another class. This is what I have showed in this present. So here it shows that interface list can be extended to interface list 2. Here it says that class can be extended to another class, interface can be implemented to another class, whereas interface can be extended to another interface. So this is very important. Class can extend to another class. Interface to class, we have to use implements class, whereas interface to interface we can use extends keyword, as it is in case of class to class. Now let's look at the collections. Collections is one of the group of interfaces under collection framework. Means collection is one interface. This has lot of unimplemented methods or empty methods inside it. Let's see what are the different methods, that is unimplemented methods or empty methods, we have inside the collection framework as well as collections interface as well. Here is the collection interfaces. It has set, shorted set, map, map.entry, scattered map. So these are all the different kinds of interfaces we have, that is collection as well. Let us look at collection first, then we'll see at a list. Of course, a list is the easiest one. It is going to come directly under collection. So we'll see what is list interface, how can we use in our real time. Before going to next slide, where we are going to have some of the programs, how to define list and array list. Here is the one snap. It shows the branches of each and every interface. The collection is the one main interface. Under that we have interface called set, interface called list, and interface called queue. Here the continuous line is nothing but extends. So the interface set is extended to another interface called collection, because from interface to another interface I can use extend keyword. That's why here I have used continuous line. At the same time, list is also another interface. It is extended to collection interface. Queue is the one. This is also one interface. It is extended to another interface called collection. At the same time, you have one more interface called shorted set under set. So it has extended to one interface to another interface, whereas there is a one class called hash set. So hash set, this is a class, hence it has used implements. This is a dotted line. Dotted line is nothing but implements. So hash set is the implementation of set interface, and linked asset is the class. So class to class, what we're going to use, we're going to use extends. That's why we have used continuous line here. At the same time, here we have one more interface called navigable set. This is interface, it has extended to another interface called sorted interface. When it comes to list, we have one class called ArrayList. This has got implemented to list. There is a implementation between list ArrayList and list, because list is the interface, ArrayList is the class. That's why I have used dotted line, that is nothing but implements. We have used implements keyword between ArrayList class and list interface. Like that, we have vector, we have linked list. Inside the map is again a interface. So here we have one class called hash table. This is implements map interface. There is a one class called hash map. Again, this is implements map interface, and there is a one more class called linked hash map. Since we can use extend between class to class, hence we have used continuous line here. Mainly in Selenium WebDriver, we'll be using list, set as well as map interfaces. In the set, we'll be using hash set more frequently. In case of list, we'll be using ArrayList, and in case of map interface, hash table is the one class as well as hash map is the another class we'll be using more frequently. So in this presentation, we're going to explain how to use list and ArrayList, and how to add the values and remove the values from the collection. We'll be explaining. In another video, we'll going to cover how to use set and map, and we're going to look at what is the difference between set, list and map. Before going to declare how to use list and ArrayList, let us look at the points or ways how to retrieve values once we assigned. There are three frequently used ways to retrieve any element from collection object. That is, one, using advanced for loop or for each loop. Another one is iterator interface, and third one is list iterator interface. By using these three, we can retrieve the values. Of course, there are some advantages on one-to-one. For example, iterator has one advantage over for each loop. List iterator has one more advantage over the for loop as well as iterator. Let us look at one by one how to declare object using ArrayList class, then add some of the values and delete some of the values, and use for loop as well as iterator and list iterator to retrieve the values. How to declare? Here is the way we can use it. First, we have to use interface name, that is list. Then you can say any name. Here I have said list. Of course, you can say ABC or XYZ, anything you can say as a object name. Then you have to use new. Then you have to use a class name called ArrayList. Since ArrayList is a class, so we are going to create the object, but we cannot say list obj equals to new list, because list is an interface. Interface cannot create object. It will not allow you to create object. Only class will allow you to create object. Hence, we are going to use list, then object name equals to new keyword, then class name, that is ArrayList. Let us look at using Eclipse. Here is a simple class called list array list having main method inside it. Let me declare, or let me create one object using array list class. So here at the left hand side I will use interface name, that is list. It will be having on the red mark. Why? Because list is the interface. It is present in one package called java.util. Let us see where it is present. Let me go to package explorer and let me move on to let me expand JRE system libraries. Here there is a one jar file called rtjar. In that jar there is a one package called java.util. In that java.util we'll be having all the interfaces of collection as well as the classes such as ArrayList, a linked list, so and so. So the package name is java.util. Where is that? Here is the package called java.util. Let me expand. Inside this java.util package we have so many interfaces as well as classes. Out of that, here is the one class called ArrayList. So you can see the symbol called C. Hence this is this ArrayList is nothing but a class. Under that class we have so many methods such as add, int, add all, clone, contains, so and so. Let me search for interface called list. Here is the interface called list. Let me expand it. When I expand it, you'll be able to see list interface because the icon is I. So it also having a lot of unimplemented methods such as clear, iterator, get, hash code, so and so. Here this interface has been implemented in the class called ArrayList from the backend. Java developer has already done that and we are using directly those interfaces as well as classes. So to use this list interface we have to import the package called java.util. It's not necessary to write as import java.util. If you type list, then if you place the cursor at the end of list and press control space, if you press control space you'll be able to get some of the options like list java.util, java.awt, and so on. So now it is nothing but list is the interface in package called java.util, whereas list is the class in another package called java.awt. So this class list class has its own different functionality in package called java.awt. Let us not use, let us use as a interface. Means the package what we have to import is java.util. If you don't use java.util, instead of that if you import something else, then you'll be able to get some of the errors and it will not work as expected. Hence use or import java.util. So to import, what you can do, you can just click on that particular thing. Automatically the import line will be added at the top of my class, that is import java.util.list. Here it is coming along with E. Let's not worry about E at this time, and I'll explain at the end of this video what we can replace with E and what it meant for. Now I have imported java.util.list package, and here I will say obj, that is object name. As usual I will use new keyword, then I will use array list. Again this will show some error because ArrayList is present in the package called java.util. right? So let me move my cursor on that piece, red mark, and here it should show like implement, not implement, it should show import java.util. Since I have written manually the class name like ArrayList in this set of classes what I have explained in before, so I should not write, or I should not create a class with the same name. Let me delete that first, then it will ask me to import. I have deleted the class called ArrayList what I have created to showcase how to implement a list. Hence it was giving some error, but in real time I should not use or I should not create ArrayList class manually, because already there is a class exist in the package, Java package. So now when I move my cursor on this red mark, it will suggest some of the things here. So what it is suggesting? It is suggesting me to import. Let me click on import array list. It is going to import java.util. So now it has added the second line, that is java.util.array list. Now both are coming from same package, that is java.util as well as java.util. So instead of using every time import, I can just remove either of one, and here I can say star dot star. If it is dot star, then it is understood that both of these things are coming from the same package. Hence there is no need of having a separate imports. I can remove all the common package names, and I can retain only main packages, that is java.util. Now the object is ready. When I say object dot, I'll be able to see all the methods what I have shown. There is a method called add, there is a method called add all, there is a method called contains, clear, so and so. So if you want to add any data to this object, you have to use a method, that is add. So here there are two adds. One is add object arguments, add int arguments as well as object. So here they have used overloading concept, that is one method name but different signature. Based upon the signature what you are going to pass it, particular method is going to call and act upon. So not necessary to worry about this, just select that and enter some data. For example, I will say qascripts. This is string data type. At the same time, I will go on adding something like obj dot add 1 2 3 4, obj dot add true. So here qascript is one data type, 1 2 3 is another type of data type, 2 is boolean data type. You can also go for obj add 30.5, that is double data type. So you can add n number of data types with a different data. Here there is no restrictions how many data can be added. Here I have added 4, I can add 8, I can add 100 based upon your requirement. There is no need of changing the size or length of particular collection, because collection is the advanced version of array and it has removed all the disadvantages of array. So there is no need of worrying length of it. And moreover, if you want to remove, just remove something like this, or you can also use, there is a one method called remove. Before removing, let us try to add as many as values of different data types. Then let us try to retrieve the values. As I explained in the presentation, there are three ways of retrieving the values. For example, here I have explained, one is using for each loop, and second one is iterator. Then there is another way of retrieving is list iterator. Let us start using for each loop to retrieve the values what I have added. There are 4 values I have added. So let me use for each loop to retrieve these added values. Here is the way we can use advanced for loop. That is, we have to use for keyword, and inside I have to type data type. But here the data types are mixed, so I can use object keyword. The object keyword is nothing but it's a father of all data types, and I am saying one variable name, that is al1. I'm using a colon, and at the right side I'm using the object where I have added all the values. And inside the for loop I'm trying to print out the values of al using one simple message called value of al. When I execute this piece of code, what happens? Now I'll get the values out here saying qascripts 1 2 3 4 true and 30.5. If you increase the values, there is no need of modifications in the length. Simply you can increase and execute. As you increase the value, those many values are coming out here. And there is another method called remove. So here we can easily remove the added values. Let me say obj dot, there is a one method called remove and remove all. As name suggests, remove all means it will remove all. Let me not use remove all as of now. Let me use remove. So here think that I want to remove second value, means it's going to calculate from 0. So this is 0 value, and this one is position 1 value. Let me say remove 1. So when I say object dot remove 1, the value which is present at the line number 12 will get removed. Let me execute now. When I look at my code here, I have a QA script. Yes, this is the first value what I have added, and directly it is displaying true, but there is no 1 2 3 4 here, means it has got removed. Like that you can remove string also. How to remove string? Directly you can type the string name, for example obj dot remove. Here I will say in double quote QA scripts, and when you run this piece of code, the QA script will get removed and it will start publishing from true, then 30.5, and again it is displaying 1 2 3 because 1 2 3's position is different from the 1 2 3 which is there at the above. Let me try to retrieve the values using iterator interface. That is second way of retrieving the values. As of now, I'll comment this advanced for loop. To use iterator, first you have to type that keyword, that is iterator. As I said, it is an interface. Again, it is present in java.util package. Let me use interface, and as of now just neglect this e, and here let me say one object name, that is I will say itr equals to, you should not use new. Instead of that you have to use the object which is already been added with the value, the object which is already loaded with the value. What is the object here? Is object name is obj. Now you have to type dot. When you say obj dot, there is a one class called it's not class, actually it is a method inside the list interface, because list is the interface. This is going to have only methods of not fully defined, that is empty method. So here is the empty method called iterator. Let me use that iterator. After creating object like this, you have to use a while loop. While, open the bracket, then open curly bracket, close curly bracket. Inside this I will say ITR. Here is the interesting thing. When you say ITR dot, you'll be able to see one of the best method called hasNext. HasNext is the method. This will check each and every value. For example, first it will check whether obj has value here. Yes, it's having value. Then condition becomes true. After printing out inside this, let me print out here. To print out also we need one more method, that is, let me use system.out.println, and here I will say value of ITR, then here I will use plus and ITR dot. You have to use next. There is a one method called next. This will help you to print out the values of object what it has got loaded. Now first it will check whether value is present in that object. Yes, it is present, so the condition becomes true, and it will move on and it will print out. Well, again it will come back and it will check for the value as next. Yes, it is true, and the condition becomes true. It will continue and it will keep on becoming true until the object becomes empty. Once object becomes empty, the condition of this particular line, that is ITR dot has next, becomes false, and the loop will come out of while loop, and it will end the execution. Like this it will work the ITR iterator interface while retrieving the values. Let me execute this piece of code. So here I am able to see all the values. Since I have removed the value 1, 2, 3 as well as qascripts, hence I am not able to get it. Other than that, I am getting true 30.5, 1, 2, 3, true again 30.5 by using iterator. So when you compare with the normal for loop, that is advanced for loop, this is more structured way of retrieving the values. There is another way of retrieving the values is using list iterator interface. So again let me type list iterator, and here again I'll create the object saying that LITR equals to obj dot list iterator. It's all almost same. Here we have to use while again, and I'll tell you what is the difference between list iterator and normal iterator. First let us try to use as the same method something like LITR dot as next. See here there is a one more method called as previous. In a sense, we can print the values, we can retrieve the values in a forward mode as well as backward mode. First let us try to retrieve in forward mode, then we can retrieve in the backward mode. So let me use as next. Inside the while loop I'll say system.out.println values in values using let me say LITR 1 this time, and I will use LITR dot next. Here is the next, so I will use it. Let me execute. When I execute, I will get the same result what I was getting using list iterator as well. Now I will use a reverse way. This is a forward way, means it is first printing true, then 30, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then true. But when I use as previous, then the 30.5 would be printing first, then true will be next. So in the reverse order it will print. So to make it difference, what I will do, I will just use system.out.println. Here I will have one line so that it's easy to understand. So we have created another while loop. where I am saying as previous, as well as in the system.out.print method I'm using as previous. Instead of as next, I'm using as previous method. Let me execute this piece of code. When I execute, I'm getting the result out here. Let's see first. Here I have used message in the system.out, right? That is values in itr1. So I'm getting true 30.5 1 2 3 true, as well as 30.5 in the forward mode. If you make it in reverse mode, first value what it has to display is 30.5, then true, then 1 2 3, then 30.5 again true. So exactly reverse way it has read and printed out here. So like this we can use as next as well as previous, especially using list iterator. We can retrieve the values in a forward way as well as in backward way. Sometime in a real condition, what happens, we need to make it very specific to one type of data, even though it accepts more than one type of data. But in real time, sometime we need to restrict ourselves to use only one type of data. So at that time we have to use one data type name here. For example, let me say I want to save or I want to store only string values. To make it very specific to string, you have to use string keyword just after list at the right hand side as well as at the left hand side. Here also we have to use the keyword called string. As soon as I use string, so all other data type value what I have entered is giving error, saying that please try to convert it or remove it. So let me remove all of these values. So here it accepts only one type of data, that is string. So you can, here I can say that different types of values it accepts and it works out here. If you make it as, if you want to make it for integer, you have to type integer. That is a complete keyword. You have to type it at the both side, but inside the bracket. Now it is giving error here, say, because whatever specification I have done is only for integer, so it will accept only integer values. If you try to add something other than integer, it will not going to accept. For example, here I am trying to store double data type, that is 2344.5, that is double data type value. It's not going to accept. If you want to make it accept, you have to change this from integer to double. So like this we can make list very specific to one kind of data type, or you can make it very open and generic to all other data types of data. Here you can use ArrayList at the both side, at the right hand side as well as left hand side. It's going to accept, because ArrayList is the class, it has been implemented list interface, so you can use at the both side. But it's always good to use list at the left side and ArrayList class at the right side, so that we can utilize the methods present in the list as well as ArrayList classes. If you use only ArrayList at the both side, then the methods which are present in the ArrayList class can be available here. If you use a list at the left side, whatever the classes present, whatever the methods present inside this list interface, I can use it. I cannot say only methods. I can commonly say that members of that particular interface. So I can utilize both the members of interface as well as classes if we use list at the left side and array list, that is class name, at the right side. To know how to use set as well as map, please watch my next video. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions or doubts, please mail us on following mail IDs, that is info@qascripts.com or qascripts25@gmail.com. You can also call us using number, that is 8095916908. Thank you.